I recently bought the H2S that broke after about 2.5 weeks. I had to repack it and send it back to the Israeli reseller. It then took me about 3 weeks to persuade them that I deserve a brand new printer, but they accidentally sent me a H2D. I thought it was compensation for those 3 weeks of aggravation. Immediately I opened it and started using it non-stop. It took them about 5 days to realize what a grave mistake they'd made. They were at my house within 2 hours to take the now used H2D, only to give me my brand new H2S. During this ordeal, I became the best Bamboo Lab unpacker in the world probably, clocking in less than 10 minutes on the third printer that I unpacked. The number one question I get from people who aren't enchanted by 3D printing is what can you do with your 3D printer apart from printing knockoffs that you can buy for $1 on AliExpress? This got me thinking, is 3D printing really something essential, or is it just an excuse for people like myself to call ourselves creators or tinkerers or, God forbid, makers? So in this video, I'm going to feature 10 functional only prints Let's get into it. The first print isn't my design. I intended on designing it, but someone's already done a fantastic job. You can find the link in the description. If you want to use a trolley in a supermarket in Israel, you need a 5 shekel coin. If you don't have a 5 shekel coin, you just can't use the trolley. Well, you can actually go inside to the main cashier, deposit an ID card. They will then give you a 5 shekel coin. Once you finish using the trolley and have everything packed in the car, you put the trolley back into the line of trolleys, into the trolley line, and take the 5 shekels back into the cashier to get your ID card back. Not optimal, not ideal. Printed this. So it's a 2-part print. One is a mock-up of the coin, and another is the coin holder that sits on your keychain. Amazing time saver. Will definitely save me multiple times. You can also print a bunch of these and put them in your car so that you're never out of 5 shekel coins. If we are already on the topic of keychains, another member on my keychain is my gym chip, which broke. Instead of succumbing to paying 20 shekels for a brand new one, I just grinded it down and printed a holder around it. Yeah, this is a great concept. You print something, you pause the print in the middle, then you can add whatever you want. Could be a gym chip, could be magnets. I've seen people do loads of things. And once the print continues and closes around it, it's trapped forever in its brand new home. Pretty neat. It came out a bit bulky, but still, doing the job. Saving me 20 shekels. The new loft bed is a great hit. Number 2 has been sleeping on it for quite a while now. I've been challenged to find a solution for her worldly possessions, specifically when she's going to bed. This includes her glasses, a book she's reading, or a bottle of water. So I designed a holder that will sit on the bed rail, and then you can customize whatever you want. I've done 2 up until now. It's really, really good. I have 2 cheap projectors lying around that are not in use. The first one came from the PlayStation 5 kit that I built. They don't use the PlayStation 5 at all. They always want to play on their phones. I actually sold the PlayStation 5. So I took the first projector and I put it on the bottom of the loft bed. Again, designing a holder for that so I don't need to screw it in place. I can move it around and even adjust the projector to be right in front of the wall. The second projector was placed on a 3D printed shelf that doesn't need any screws and can just hold itself in place like magic. You know how much I love that. Staying on the topic of shelves, I had a queer notion of taking my Wi-Fi mesh and putting it on that shelf that housed the repurposed projector. And if I'm already going to put my Wi-Fi mesh up there, I need to also put my home NAS up there that's wired to it with an Ethernet cable.
For this print, I came out an absolute genius because I printed a smaller version just to make sure that it fits, and it fit, which was very good. Just push it in and you can see that it fits. And then instead of printing the real size, I went and redesigned it. I added a tweak where this is filleted, you see, giving it more stability. But then when I came to put it in, I realized that I had messed up because now the fillet makes me catch on to the plug inlets. So I need to either redesign it one more time and print this big print, which I'm not going to do, Or I can just cut off a piece somehow. Much more appealing, right? Let's give it a try. This should do. Now we just need to see how good the Wi-Fi reception is while this is up here. If everything's okay, I will then check to see that I am connected to my NAS from the computer. And if that works, I'll come back up here and zip tie everything up. Yeah, Wi-Fi's crap when it's up there. 7 megabytes. Looks like, oh, we get to 8.99 megabytes download. That's slow as hell. That's slower than 1994. So we're going to have a vacant, over-engineered shelf up there. What can you do?
Next on the list is something that I haven't designed myself. It's a radius gauge. Okay, so it's a bunch of these little cards that you print. Each one of them represents a different radius, and it's a big help when 3D printing and 3D designing. Now, while I'm saying this, I realize that this kind of breaks the rule of it being truly functional, because if you're not a 3D designer, then you're not going to want a radius gauge because you've really not got anything to do with it. But if you do decide to go into the 3D printing world and buy a 3D printer, this will definitely come handy. I printed the radius gauge to help me measure a few things for the next print. The car charger came with this flimsy cable holder, which requires 3 screws to be held on the wall. I was pretty close to installing this while installing the car charger, but thought otherwise of it, and now I have these 3 markings on the wall to remind me how much I hate unnecessary screws. This was printed in ASA, which is very much like PLA. It looks and feels the same, but it's meant to be much more weather resistant. The design itself came with its flaws. When I say came with, I made these flaws by accident, but I made the opening a bit too narrow, so it cracked when I forced it in. Second, the cable trenches were too narrow and too many. In hindsight, I would have made just one big valley to hold the cable while wrapping it around. With all that said, it does perform its intended purpose. Next off is coffee table legs. I've got this coffee table that I found outside. I actually love how it looks. It's got 6 legs and it's super heavy. When it sits on the carpet, you just can't move it at all. So I 3D printed some legs for it.
Perfect.
Last but not least, the lamp holder. This, by the way, is the print that I'm most proud of, and I was able to kill 2 birds with 1 print. I bought this lamp for my daughter so that she can read her book at night. Instead of having to mount this lamp on the wall, I designed something that both holds the lamp but also covers the power socket that's very close to her head. That was my recap of my last 10 functional prints. This was very challenging for me because the idea was 10 prints at upstart, From the start, it was 10 prints, but then I had to think of the 10 prints. Obviously, I had about 4 or 5 ideas, so I had to rack my brain on what I'm going to print, but also how to design these things to work first time or maybe second time. But as you see, if I print something big, I'm not willing to reprint it. I don't want to waste the plastic. I don't want to spend the time. I just want to get through the project. So it starts with the idea, and then I want to implement it fast, and get it out the door. These 10 designs came in less than 2 weeks, the ideas and the actual design and printing and using them. So I'm really happy about that. As for you guys, thank you for your time. I really appreciate you watching the videos. I appreciate the comments, and I'll see you next week.